fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're just freaked out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, quite a bit of things have happened. Now, in the last part, Deku faced off against a yautja in hand-to-hand combat. Now, Deku, he won. However, in the process, he actually did receive a very, very bad injury. The sides of his back that do come up to, well, his shoulder blades. So if you were to take your hand and go to reach backwards, at the top of your shoulder blade, down backwards to past your shoulder blade down towards the sides, Deku had a yautja rip his hands and claws through that area. As the yautja, yeah, it did do a lot of damage to Deku. However, Deku was able to win and prove that he is a very, very dangerous threat. Deku literally ripping a yautja's throat out with his hand and teeth, and even spitting a chunk out of his mouth. Now, the yautjas were then informed by their commanders, their leaders, and teachers to not mess with this human anymore. The fact is, he's proven himself to them. And if any of them do try to engage this human in one-on-one combat, they will all lose. If they work together, they could, but that goes against the yautja tradition of hunting. You take on your prey alone, one-on-one. And Deku, he's already at least done that to 3 yautja. Now, it's very interesting to them. Deku, he has technically fought 4, but he let her live. Now, with that being said, we actually have the rest of the 4 days Deku does have on the planet, where Deku, he did actually try to decode and understand the yautja's cloaking technology along with even the visors. Now, with that being said, Deku, he did try to spend this time wisely. All he really did have to do was worry about the xenomorphs, and the occasional human that would come by his areas. Now, with that being said, we actually have the end of the 7-day period, where the humans that are left on the planet, they are actually captured and gathered up. As we actually do currently have Deku, where whenever Deku, he was actually moving through the forest and leaping through the air, he did actually have a yautja who did come walking out from behind a tree. As Deku does go to look towards it and see this creature. Now, Deku does notice a few things immediately. As the yautja is staring at Deku, and he actually does have a lot of weapons on him. Deku can tell by his tool belt that this is very bad. As Deku is actually going to bring up his hands and get ready for combat. Now, you do actually have the plasma caster that does actually come off of the yautja's shoulder. It's going to move downwards as 3 dots do appear on Deku's stomach. And Deku does just go to look down at them, before looking back up at the yautja. Now, the yautja does inform Deku the hunt is over, and he will be coming with him. Now, Deku does just stare at the yautja, as he does just agree. Now, we actually do have our humans that are all currently being gathered together in not only some in cages, some in nets. There actually is whenever Deku does come walking onto the ship. And a lot of people, they actually come out and stare at Deku, since he's the only human who's in actual bindings, aka handcuffs, and even stuff that does cover his legs. Now, There also is the fact that Deku, he does have a yautja mask on, including at least something on his right wrist. Now, there actually is one where Deku, he is led to a cell where he is sat down, and they do inform him that once they reach the destination, somebody does want to have a chat with him. Now, Deku, he does understand, as he does get to enjoy the ride. Now, we actually will cut over to the yautjas who, they were monitoring Deku. They understand that his kill count has also gone up. The man not only went out of his way to try to recover properly, but whenever he did actually encounter a large amount of xenomorphs, he took them all out. It didn't seem like he took them out for simple, well, hunting. It may have been that he was trying to test his new abilities. Now, the yautjas, they're quite aware about what does happen whenever a human like Deku is, well, let's just put it in a simple way, exposed to their blood. Now, they believe that Deku, he had a large amount of it exposed to his body and his system. So, the fact of the matter is that human, he's getting more dangerous. The blood of a yautja in a human body. It can slow down their aging process of a human, increase physical prowess, strength, speed, stamina, and durability. And well, it also does provide at least some new things to a human. Now, Deku, yeah. He has no idea about any of this. He has been aware that his strength does feel somewhat off lately. However, he does just think that it's because he's physically moving around a lot more, and actually mimicking pro heroes in the way he is not only moving, but even trying to keep it together. Now, with that being said, we actually have where Deku, after he's being shipped, you could say, he does actually have somebody come walking up to his cell. As the cell door is open and a man to step in. As it's the man Deku did see whenever he did first arrive on the ship. Now, the man he's staring down at Deku. As Deku is going to stand up and two guards do actually come walking into the cell. Now, there actually is where Deku, he does go to look at both of the guards. And the yautja elder, he actually does go stepping forwards to Deku and going to bring his hand up. Him grabbing the mask off of Deku's face and pulling it off. As he does stare Deku in the face. And even see the mark he's been given. Now, the yautja, he does ask Deku many questions. As Deku, he does answer some of them. Now, the yautja is very intrigued. He wanted to know more about this human, and he did just learn a few things. This human's father killed a yautja before they are aware of that information. However, they do want to know exactly how he understands, or may, have gained all of his training. Now, Deku had expressed many things. His parents are, as the yautja would put it, warriors, and he is their son. With his abilities, he's been able to see and do everything he's ever seen growing up. He's a master of mobility, and he's even learned many disciplines on his home planet. Along with that, there's even the fact that technology fascinates him. Now, the yautja would just ask Deku exactly what made him such a, well, brutal and relentless warrior. As Deku does just stare at the man. And he does explain his entire reason behind his actions on the planet. Everything he did was for survival, under the assumption that these warriors on the planet are anything at all like him, if not worse, it would be right to assume they would not hesitate to kill. And with the encounters of humans he did experience, he was correct. His theory was tested, proven, and he stuck by it. Now, the yautja he is impressed to hear Deku talk about this, as the main deal is going to tell Deku that he understands that he also did encounter their blood. Yes, I did. I see. Well, now, nothing we can really do about it. However, you should be aware, your newfound strength, you need to control it. Now, Deku is quite surprised, as he has asked the man to explain, and he would tell Deku about the side effects he is currently experiencing. Now, Deku, he is kind of alarmed by that. He basically just gained a small form of super strength, and, well, a durability increase. Now, this is quite interesting to Deku, as we actually do have our Deku after being let go, and yeah, basically being put into an area where other humans are. Deku he does go look around, as a lot of humans, they are all very confused. Now, many of them are currently arguing with other humans, and Deku he does just see that, as there is where whenever Deku does go to walk in, and the yautjas they actually go to strip Deku of some gear he does still have on. Many people do go to see him, and a lot of them they're curious about the wounds they do see covering his body. There are scratches and cuts along Deku's face. There are marks on his back. There's scars on his legs. And there's the grizzled look he does at least have. And the, well, aroma he does have coming off of him. Now, Deku does go to sit down against a wall, as he does just go to wait for whatever is going to happen to them. The yautjas, they do respect him. So, some time would pass, and you'd actually where some people they actually are staring at Deku. Deku, as a yautja guard does go to walk in, some people do actually go to rush towards the man, as the man does go to bring up a weapon and go to aim it upwards into the air, firing it. Now, you do actually have where Deku, he does actually go to stand up and walk over towards the yautja. As Deku does go to approach the yautja, he does actually go to turn and point the weapon right at Deku. As Deku does just look at the yautja and say in his language exactly what is he here for, because he can translate if he does need. Now, everyone need to just look at Deku. Whatever he just said, they didn't understand. The yautja actually going to turn his head confused as he does try to at least explain to Deku what's currently happening. Now, everyone they do watch this. Deku and this thing are communicating. Now, it's very odd to them. And there is whenever Deku does go to turn his head and start to announce that they're all currently safe. They should be aware that the 1 week challenge they've all been through, or the hunt, is over. And that all the people in this room, all 287, they are what remains of 3,000 humans put on the planet. Now, a lot of people do actually start to burst out with questions, trying to ask Deku what he means by that. And some are even asking if they really got abducted by aliens. Now, Deku does just tell all of them to shut up, as he does inform them about what he does know. They've been hunted, and from what he understands, they're being taken somewhere now. The hunt is over, and they might be preparing for another one. However, given the circumstances, they might be given rest and recuperation. So, the yautjas, they either failed to kill them, or they all managed to escape and hide for a week. He doesn't view them as anything special. The yautjas don't either. They just basically view them as moving targets, and they're trying to hit their mark. Now, there actually is where the yautja does go to turn and leave. And sometime later, everybody there taken to places where they're able to get showered, clean clothes, and basically set in a small place. Now, this is very interesting. As Deku and the humans, they all come walking off of the ship. As Deku does, go to look around. This place is nowhere, if at all, like Earth. And yeah, it is very, very bad. Now, Deku he actually had to go to see a fence whenever he did turn his head, and he immediately knew that they are being kept in a pen. So his theory was right. They're being used for hunts. Now, Deku, yeah. Yautjas, they do at least start to assign the humans with certain things. And there is even whenever Deku, he does walk up to a yautja, and the yautja does go to bring up a device. As it does go to scan Deku's hand, and then go to look at Deku. As it does see the mark on Deku's head. Before actually going to grab something down at his belt, and go to bring it up for Deku. Now, Deku is very confused looking down at this thing, as the yautja just tell him to take. Now, Deku does reach out and grab this thing, as he does go to slide it onto his wrist, and watch it does go to start covering part of his arm, before he does go to bring his hand up and tighten it. Now, Deku doesn't fully understand it. However, he can tell that whatever this thing is, it's advanced technology, as he does go to walk away. Now, Deku, yeah, he does start to explore the area, and understand exactly what this place is. There are farms, there are shops, there are places where people they train, fight, and make weapons. And it's very interesting to Deku. What he sees is all currently advanced technology. They have some sort of exosuit skeletal things that they have. They have weapons, they have guns, they have whatever they need. Along with that, supplies and resources do get dropped off on the ships. So, this place can't be a prison. If the humans wanted to, they could rebel. This place is full of strong warriors, and Deku he does understand that much. So, it's gotta have the most crafty people, deadly assassins, and ruthless murderers that are in human history. So, he's just curious about why they are all here, and why they're living peaceful lives. Now, Deku, he does actually go to walk around. And yeah, many people they start talking about the man with a scar on his face. Since they talk about how he's the only human who can speak to the aliens. Now, we actually do have later, where Deku he's sitting down and at least eating at a table. And he's at least trying to eat the food he's been given. Now, Deku he's reminded of some MREs that his dad at least bring on some long hunting trips. The weird paste and the strange jelly. That's all he really does remember. And there's actually whenever Amanda's going to come walking up to Deku and going to push his tray onto the ground. As Deku does go to turn and look at the man. Now, the man he does go to inform Deku that he is a very, very weird person, isn't he? Exactly who might you be? That's none of your concern. However, I'm very curious. I've heard a few things about you, and you're new, aren't you? Yes, I am. Deku actually going to stand up and turn to the man. Ask him what he does want to know. Now, the guy does ask if Deku can really talk to the aliens, as he does inform him that yes, he can. And the man he does also talk about how Deku, he has the same strange symbol he's seen on one of the ones who don't wear masks. Really? I guess I'm just special. I don't understand it. There have been very few humans who can speak to the aliens. And you're a new one. So, exactly what did you do? Now, there's actually whenever someone does come walking up. And Deku does get to turn his head, watching as these men did all freeze. As you do actually with the yautja standing there, he does just stare at Deku. As the man does go to hold something up for him, or at least go to hold up his wrist and start to press something down onto his gauntlet. As he has to actually hold out his fist and slide his fingers down towards them. As Deku feels something on his arm happen. Deku actually going to bring up his arm and pull back his sleeve. Him looking at the strange thing covering his wrist. As he does look at it. Now, the humans, they're all very confused. None of them have that thing. And Deku is just staring at it. As he has to click down on certain things and begin to decipher what the yautja is telling him. Now, Deku does just look down at this message before looking up the yautja and saying something to him before turning to the other man. If you must know, the reason why I'm so special is because of my abilities. Your quirk? Yes, along with even my training. Tell me, do you keep track of your kills? Of course I do. I killed one of those xenomorph bastards myself. In fact, I even fought a yautja. Really? Just one? What are you talking about? That's the best anyone can hope to do against those things. Besides, what did you do? That's adorable. 72. I'm sorry. 72. That's my kill count. Now, do you want to hear me break down the numbers? 3 yautja. About 20 humans. And do you know what the rest are? Now, the man he's trying to think. Okay, that's 23. And the rest would be, you took out that many? Wait, you fought one of those alien bastards? The man going to put his hand up towards the yautja. As they're going to talk about how, yes, he did. You killed 3 of them? You can't be serious. I am. One I killed with a knife. The other, well, a shotgun blast, basically. And you wanna know how I killed the third one? Now, the man did just stare at Deku, as he just does think he's gonna say with a knife or with a gun. As Deku is gonna bring his hands up, talking about how he killed it with his bare hands, and how he ripped out its damn throat with his teeth. Now, the man is actually gonna back away from Deku, as the man he is gonna turn and run. As Deku does go looking back towards the yautja and following him. Now, the yautja, Deku, he does follow and go to meet somebody. As Deku is currently sitting in an office, or at least a room, where trophies are displayed, and where he's meeting with somebody who is a higher rank. Now, Deku just watches a younger looking yautja does sit across from him, and it's just currently staring at Deku. And it's asking him a few questions. Now, Deku does just stare at the yautja, as he does look at it. So, you must be subject, the man saying a number, asking if he is the one who has the impressive kills. Yes. Interesting. Kills but no trophies? I wasn't aware you collected them. I see. You are a very strange one. Along with that, you even did take out a key. A key? Oh, you must mean the other yautja that I first encountered. Yes, she's a very skilled and trained warrior. In fact, the most promising female candidate of her class. I'm sorry? Yes, there are stronger yautja than her in her age group. However, when it does come to mobility and other aspects, she does excel in those. However, you took out 3 yautja of the male classification, who they would be around her level and one who was above. I'm curious. How did you do it? Now, Deku would explain what he did do, and the man he's very fascinated, as he does inform Deku that currently things are being made and set up, and if Deku would like to, he can return home. Now, Deku is going to jump up, as does ask the yautja if that's really possible. Yes. However, you should be aware. Your home will not be the same as when you left. In fact, it will be very different. Time will have passed, and the world you will return to will seem strange. Now, Deku, he does understand that. He's been gone for what? 2 weeks? Maybe more? That should be fine. He can just, well, explain what happened to him in some sort of way, and try to use what he has learned here on his planet. Now, the yautja, yeah. He does try to explain it to Deku that he will get to see how his homeworld has changed. And if he is not satisfied, he will have the ability to return back to them. I'm sorry? You will find that more time than you think has passed. And, in fact, you yourself will watch as the world you grew up in has no longer existed. If you wish to try starting again in that world, we will allow you. However, do be aware. It is possible that your descendants will one day participate in our battles once again. And they may not live up to you. I see. So if I return home, my kids could one day end up fighting? Now, Deku doesn't say that, but he does just think it. And he does at least try to think. He can prepare them. If they have his abilities, he can at least give them the tools to survive. Give them what he knows. And hope that they do pass it along. Now, Deku, he does reluctantly agree to this, as we actually were 3 yautja to come walking in. And Deku, as he does go to stand up, he does turn to see many yautja. Now, you do actually have Aki, who Deku he does see and almost immediately point out, as she's staring right at Deku through her mask. Now, you do actually where she does come walking up and holding up something for Deku, as Deku does see a small box and a yautja face mask. Now, Deku does go to grab the mask and bring it up, as he's being informed when he does put it on that he has earned these gifts. Now, Deku he does go to actually open the box and see something. Now, Deku he does go to pull out some strange disc, as he does look at it and, well, try to understand what this is. He doesn't get it. It looks similar to that one thing he saw back on the other ship. Now, you do actually have where the yautjas who are standing in front of Deku, they actually are very stunned. Deku's being given that as a gift? There's no way. Now, you do actually have the yautja that tried hunting Deku, who she's just curious about this human now. Fact is, he's being given a smart disc. A smart disc isn't something you give as a gift, especially not to him, one of them. Now, Deku, yeah. You do actually have where the yautjas, after giving Deku his gift, or his trophy you can call it, they do decide to escort him to a ship, where they will be taking him back to Earth. Now, Deku, he does leave, as the ship does make its way for Earth, and Deku, he does currently at least sit there talking with a few people. And the yautjas, who are at least observing them, humans, they actually all do want to speak with this one, the particular one that is, in their customs, higher ranked than them. Now, you do actually wear the yautja, or let's just say Ki. She's going to actually talk to Deku, as she's curious about what he did do for the remainder of those 4 days. And Deku does explain to the yautja, as the humans do look at him strangely. Now, it is particularly very strange, and that actually is whenever they do arrive at Earth. Now, Deku, he actually is going to stand up, and the other humans, they're all excited to be back home, as we do have where the planet, it's, well, not the same anymore. Now, Deku just stared down at his world, the one that was green, blue, and had clouds. It doesn't seem to be the same. Now, the Yautjas are actually doing scans of the planet, and they're wondering what may have happened. Now, they're not exactly too sure. However, it does appear that Earth, something may have happened in the past that has caused it to disappear, you could say. Scans of the planet do show civilization. However, they believe that it's a fraction of the original population number. Now, the humans, they're told that they will go down to their planet now, as many of them they are actually forced away. You know actually where Deku, he's just sitting there looking down at his planet. Now, Deku does actually go to look down at the yautja mask, as he does look up. Now, Deku does just ask the yautja exactly what happened to his home. Now, you do actually have where Ki, she does turn towards Deku and tell him that they do not understand it either. They believe that some sort of biological contaminant is on his planet, and that because of it, the population, they, are dying. Whatever it is, it's eating everything, and it may have been created that way. Now, Deku, he's enraged hearing this, as he does ask if they know what it is, as the yautja does talk about how they don't. From what she understands, it's not from their planet. It's alien in origin. And Deku, he really should feel lucky. Now, Deku does turn towards the yautja and step forwards directly in front of her, as he does go to put on his mask and ask her exactly how should he feel lucky. Everyone he knows is dead, and he heard that number, fraction. She knows what those numbers do mean in human terms, correct? Now, she'll just look up at Deku, as Deku just explained to her that a fraction is a very, very small percentage. And in fact, you can even call it a decimal. Now, Deku just asks exactly what percent of his species are left alive. And the yautja just explain. The number of Deku's species currently on Earth is less than 100,000. Now, Deku's heart, it skips a beat, as Deku just turns and smash his fist right into the wall as hard as he can. And the yautja just watch Deku, as Deku just starts to throw his fist right into the wall, and punch over and over and over again, until his knuckles are bloody. Now, the yautja, it was confused. Deku, he is enraged. And, well, this news. He didn't shut down at it. Now, Deku just stand up after a minute of trying to process everything, asking exactly what could have caused this. And yeah, Yautja, she doesn't understand, as she has just tell Deku that the origin of it is alien, but they believe that they've encountered this contaminant before. Deku, he can ask questions to commanders and leaders. However, he kind of needs to do a few things. He needs to become worthy of their respect and of talking to them. Now, Deku is very annoyed at hearing this. Okay, so he has to do what? Kill more? Fine, he's got some anger to work through. Now, the ship does depart from Earth, with Deku still on it. As the Yautja, they actually do set Deku up with a proper room, a place to sleep, and even a workbench, where Deku he can mess around with and actually maintain, manage, and upgrade his gear if he has it damaged or lost in a hunt. Now, we do actually currently have Deku, who he's sitting in his room, and he's just wearing the mask, as he's examining all the glyphs the Yautja language does actually currently contain, and he's trying to find patterns in it using his quirk. As Deku, he does just start to think about the past and his memories before he actually has to pull the mask off of his face and slam it down onto the desk that is next to him. Before he does just go to bring his hands up to his face and begin to cry. Now, with that being said, Deku has a new goal set in mind. He needs to discover exactly what could have caused the destruction of the human race. And this strange contaminant may be the key to finding it. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.